What happens when a 45-year-old CEO falls for her 26-year-old intern? Today's story will make you laugh, cry, and gasp. Imagine falling for someone who could ruin your career. What would you choose? Love or reputation? Stay with me till the end, because you will question everything you know about love. Vanessa Kings was the kind of woman people admired from afar. At 45, she owned Velour Fashion Group, one of the biggest fashion companies in Lagos. She was beautiful, with smooth caramel skin, shoulder-length wavy hair, and sharp brown eyes that could silence a room. But behind her fierce CEO look was a woman who hadn't been touched by love in years. Her life was about work, contracts, board meetings, and lonely evenings in her mansion. Love was a memory she buried a long time ago. One Monday morning, she sat in the glass conference room with her HR manager, interviewing a batch of new interns. Most of them were nervous, mumbling through their introductions. Then came Leo Cole. He was 26, tall, lean, with a cheeky smile and tight curls that framed his handsome face. He wore an oversized thrift store suit that didn't quite fit, but somehow he looked charming. He walked in with confidence, flashing a grin. "Good morning, boss lady. Forgive the outfit. My budget is allergic to Gucci." The entire room burst into laughter, even Vanessa, who almost never smiled during interviews. She tilted her head and smirked. "Mr. Leo, are you always this confident?" He leaned forward playfully. "Only when I'm broke and desperate. But I promise, I work like I'm worth $1 million. Vanessa raised an eyebrow, intrigued. She asked a few more questions, and unlike the others, Leo spoke with passion and boldness. When he left, her HR whispered, "He's unqualified. No experience." Vanessa simply said, "Hire him. He has something the others don't." And just like that, Leo became part of her world. In the weeks that followed, Leo stood out. While the other interns were intimidated by Vanessa, he joked around and made her laugh. When she was stressed about deadlines, he'd casually appear at her office door. "Boss lady, if stress was a man, I'd fight him for you." She'd roll her eyes, pretending to be annoyed, but secretly his words warmed her heart. Late nights at the office became their unspoken ritual. He stayed back, helping her with presentations. They shared takeout dinners and little conversations about life. Leo told her about his humble background, raised by a single mother, hustling his way through school. Vanessa found herself opening up too, telling him about her failed marriage and how lonely success could feel. One evening, as she sat alone in her glass office, watching the city lights, Leo walked in with a cup of tea. "Boss lady, you've been staring out that window like a Nollywood character about to make a life-changing decision." She laughed, the sound surprising even her. "Maybe I am," she replied softly. That night, she couldn't stop thinking about him. He was younger, broke, her employee, everything society would say is wrong. She told herself, this can't happen. He's just a kid. But deep inside, something she thought was long dead began to wake up. The next day, Vanessa receives an anonymous email with the subject line, "How far would you go for happiness?" She frowns, confused. Inside is a blurry photo of her and Leo laughing together in her office. Who took it? And why? The tension begins. What if happiness knocks, but society says you can't open the door? The anonymous email lingered in Vanessa's mind like a song she couldn't turn off. Who could have taken that photo? And why send it anonymously? She wondered. It wasn't even scandalous, just her and Leo laughing over noodles in her office. But something about the timing felt intentional. That morning, she called her assistant. "Vivian, do we have security footage of the 8th floor for last night?" Vivian frowned. "Yes, Ma. Should I pull it?" Vanessa hesitated. Why was she even panicking? It's just a photo. But something in her gut whispered, this is only the beginning. Meanwhile, Leo breezed into her office like he owned the place. He carried a brown paper bag and that trademark grin of his. "Boss lady, breakfast delivery. 1 meat pie, 2 puff puffs, and a reminder that you're the finest CEO in Lagos." Vanessa rolled her eyes, fighting a smile. "Do you ever stop talking?" Leo sat casually on the edge of her desk. "Only when I'm asleep. And even then, my dreams flirt with you. Vanessa choked on her tea. Leo, she hissed, glancing at the glass walls. People can hear you. Leo winked. Let them. Maybe they'll learn how to compliment their bosses properly. Vanessa shook her head, laughing despite herself. But as soon as he left, she noticed 2 junior staff whispering near the hallway, casting quick glances her way. Her stomach twisted. Were they gossiping? Did they see that email too? That evening, the tension between them reached new heights. It was raining. Lego-style rain, loud and heavy. Most staff had gone home, but Vanessa stayed late, working on a big investor pitch. Around 8:30 p.m., the power flickered. A moment later, Leo appeared in her doorway, dripping wet, holding 2 steaming cups of tea. Boss lady, before you ask why I'm still here, let me just say, Destiny wouldn't let me leave you working alone. She smiled softly. You're going to catch a cold. Then you'll have to nurse me back to health, he teased, placing a cup on her desk. They sipped tea while the rain pounded the glass windows. The city lights blurred in the wet night. And for the first time in years, Vanessa felt something stir inside her chest, a mix of comfort and danger. Leo leaned back in his chair. Can I ask you something? Please don't fire me for this. She raised an eyebrow. Go on. Do you ever get lonely? Like, you have all this money, success, power, but no one to share your puff-puff with. The question hit harder than she expected. She tried to laugh it off. I have friends. Leo tilted his head. Friends who don't send you mysterious emails. Vanessa froze. What did you just say? Leo leaned closer, his voice dropping. Boss lady, I saw you looking worried after that email today. I don't know who's trying to mess with you, but I'm on your side. Her heart skipped. You know about the email? He shrugged. The walls here have ears. Office gossip travels faster than Danfo drivers. Vanessa rubbed her temples. Leo, this is exactly why people can't misunderstand us. It'll ruin my reputation. Leo's playful expression softened into something serious. Then let them misunderstand. Who cares? You've been living for everyone else. When will you live for yourself? Vanessa felt her throat tighten. She wanted to scream that she couldn't. That society wouldn't allow it. But instead, she whispered, Leo, there are lines we shouldn't cross. He smiled faintly. Funny thing about lines. Sometimes they're meant to be drawn. Sometimes they're meant to be erased. The rain kept falling. The tension between them hung heavy like the Lagos humidity. Vanessa stood to leave, clutching her bag. As they reached the elevator, Leo said softly, For what it's worth, boss lady, if I ever cross the line, it won't be because I want your money or status. It'll be because you make me feel alive. Vanessa's breath caught. She stepped into the elevator without replying. But that night, alone in bed, his words echoed. You make me feel alive. And for the first time, she admitted it to herself. She wanted him too. The next morning, she arrives at the office to find another anonymous email. This time, the subject line reads, If you don't fire him, I will ruin you. Attached is a clearer photo, her and Leo, laughing in her office at night. But that's not the shocking part. The email ends with, Ask yourself, how well do you really know Leo? The second anonymous email shook Vanessa to her core. If you don't fire him, I will ruin you. Ask yourself, how well do you really know Leo? She read it 3 times, each word cutting like glass. Someone wasn't just gossiping. Someone was threatening her. For a CEO with a clean image and multi-million naira investors, a scandal would be fatal. And yet she couldn't fire Leo. Not because she couldn't afford to, because she didn't want to. That morning, Vanessa sat in her car in the company parking lot for 15 minutes, her hands gripping the steering wheel. She rehearsed what she'd say to Leo. Maybe she should distance herself. Maybe she should act cold. But when she stepped into the office, she saw him laughing with Amaka near the elevator, holding 2 cups of coffee. His smile hit her like a punch to the chest. Boss lady, good morning. I got your favorite, extra caramel latte. Don't say I never do anything for you. She forced a polite nod. Thank you, Leo. Leave it on my desk. His smile faltered. Vanessa, are you okay? She didn't answer. She walked straight into her office and shut the door. Minutes later, he knocked softly. Boss lady, talk to me. Did I mess up? Her throat tightened. She wanted to scream, It's not you, it's the world. But instead, she said, Leo, I need you to focus on your job and stop following me around. A heavy silence. Following you around? His voice was soft, wounded. Vanessa, She cut him off. Please, Leo. This is for your own good, too. He didn't reply. After a few seconds, she heard his footsteps retreat. But the sound of his hurt felt louder than his words. By lunch, gossip was brewing. Vanessa overheard 2 junior staff whisper, Did you see the photo? Who sent it? Who cares? She's too old for him anyway. Vanessa's face burned. She wanted to fire them on the spot, but she didn't. Instead, she locked herself in her office. Her phone buzzed. A new email notification. She hesitated before opening it. It wasn't from the anonymous sender. It was from Leo. Boss lady, if you want me gone, just say it. But I won't pretend I don't care about you. You've made me look forward to mornings. That's not following you around. That's just me, existing where my heart wants to be. Her chest ached. She typed a reply but deleted it. How could she explain the storm inside her? That evening, she stayed late again, hoping to avoid him. The building was almost empty when she left. But as she walked to her car in the dark parking lot, a voice stopped her. Vanessa! She turned. It wasn't Leo. A man in a black hoodie stood near her car. She couldn't see his face. Who are you? She demanded, clutching her bag. The man laughed low. You should fire him. Before you regret it. Her blood ran cold. Are you the one sending those emails? You don't need to know who I am. Just know that Leo isn't who you think he is. What are you talking about? He stepped closer, his face still hidden. Ask him about Port Harcourt. Ask him what he left behind there. You'll thank me later. Before she could respond, he disappeared into the shadows, leaving her trembling. That night, Vanessa barely slept. Who was this man? What was Leo hiding? And why did her heart hurt more at the thought of Leo having a secret than at the blackmail itself? The next day, she confronted him. Leo, what happened in Port Harcourt? She asked sharply the moment he entered her office. He froze. His easy smile vanished. Who told you about that? Just answer me, she said. He looked away, his jaw tight. Boss lady, some things in my past are messy. But I'm not that person anymore. So there is something. Yes, he said quietly. But if you want me gone because of it, just say so. I'll leave. I'd rather leave than see you look at me like I'm some dirty secret. Vanessa's heart pounded. Leo, I don't want you to leave. I just need the truth. He looked at her with pain in his eyes. The truth is, I've never wanted anyone like I want you. But if loving you means destroying you, I'll walk away. Her breath caught. She wanted to tell him to stay. She wanted to tell him she felt the same. But before she could speak, her assistant Vivian burst in, panicked. Ma, someone just uploaded a video of you and Leo laughing in your office last night. It's already trending on Twitter. Vanessa's stomach dropped. Her worst fear had just begun. The scandal is now public. The anonymous blackmailer made good on their threat. Vanessa's career and Leo's job are on the line. But who filmed it? And what is Leo hiding from his past? The scandal wouldn't die. By the 5th day, every blog and gossip page carried headlines like, CEO Vanessa in secret affair with much younger staff. Who is Leo, the 25-year-old assistant rocking his boss's world? Investors were furious. Employees whispered behind her back. And worst of all, Vanessa hadn't spoken to Leo since the video leaked. She told herself it was better that way. She had to focus on damage control. But deep down, she missed his jokes, his clumsy way of calling her boss lady, and the warmth that made her office feel less like a prison. That Friday, an emergency board meeting was called. All investors sat around the long glass table. Vanessa wore her most professional black suit, her face a mask of control, but her heart was racing. The chairman spoke first. Vanessa, the scandal is affecting our stock. Unless you deny the relationship and fire Leo, we will have to ask for your resignation." Her fingers tightened around her pen. "You want me to lie?" she asked quietly. "We want you to protect this company," another investor snapped. Vanessa swallowed hard. She felt trapped. If she admitted the truth, her career would crumble. If she lied, she'd betray the only man who had been real with her in years. Suddenly, the boardroom doors burst open. It was Leo. Everyone turned in shock. He wasn't smiling. His face was pale, determined. He held a thick envelope in his hand. "If you want someone to blame, blame me," Leo said firmly. "But don't you dare destroy her." The chairman frowned. "Who gave you permission to be here?" "I don't need permission to protect the woman I love," Leo said. His voice cracked, but his eyes blazed. The room erupted into murmurs. Vanessa's heart stopped. He had said it. Love. In front of everyone. Leo walked to the center of the room, holding up the envelope. "You all think you know who I am. You've heard rumors. Port Harcourt. Scandal. Dirt. Fine. I'll tell you everything." Vanessa shook her head, slightly. "Leo, you don't have to." "I do," he interrupted. "Because the truth is worse than the gossip, but at least it's real." He took a deep breath. 2 years ago in Port Harcourt, I worked at a small logistics company. My boss stole company funds and blamed it on me. I was arrested, jailed for 3 weeks, and my name was dragged everywhere. I didn't fight back because I had no money, no power. I left the city to start over. That's my crime. That's my dirty past. The room fell silent. Leo's voice shook. "And yes, I love Vanessa. She's older. The society is against her for loving the younger. She's my boss. It's messy, it's complicated, but it's not a scandal. It's love. And if that costs her career, I'll take the fall. Fire me. Destroy me. Just leave her out of it." Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. She couldn't take it anymore. She stood. "Enough. I'm done being ashamed for loving someone who makes me happy. If the board wants my resignation, fine. But I won't fire Leo. And I won't lie about my feelings." Her voice cracked on the last word. For a second, the boardroom was dead quiet. Then, the chairman cleared his throat. "This changes things. The public hates lies, but they forgive love when it's real. If we spin this as a love story instead of a scandal, it might save the company." Another investor nodded reluctantly. "We'll need a public statement. Together." That evening, Vanessa and Leo stood side by side at a press conference. Microphones flashed. Reporters shouted questions. Leo held her hand under the table. "You ready, boss lady?" he whispered with a shaky grin. "For the first time in days," she smiled. "With you? Always." They told the world the truth. No excuses, no apologies, just honesty about their relationship and Leo's past. By the time they walked out, trending hashtags had shifted. Hashtag Vanessa and Leo. Hashtag love has no age. Later that night, on the rooftop of the office building, away from the noise, Leo pulled Vanessa close. "You know I meant what I said in there, right? About loving you." She cupped his face, tears shining in her eyes. "I love you too, Leo. And I don't care who knows." He smiled that boyish smile that melted her every time. Boss, lady, and assistant. Scandal of the year. She laughed through her tears. No. Love story of the year. They kissed under the city lights, their hearts finally free. A month later, the company stabilized. Investors respected Vanessa more than ever for her courage. Leo stayed by her side, not just as her assistant, but as her partner. The gossip never fully stopped, but neither did their love. Because sometimes, love isn't perfect. It's messy. It's judged. But when it's real, it survives. Love has a way of surprising everyone, doesn't it? What you've just watched is one of many untold stories where hearts beat against the odds. Here at Love Tales by Mars Quad, we believe every love story deserves to be heard. The messy, the magical, and the unforgettable. If this story touched your heart, don't just keep it to yourself. Hit that like button.